Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cassie Speaks Up, and today I'm going to go over all the issues I've been having on social media, primarily just TikTok, and also about things that have been getting emailed to me, such as like lawsuit threats. Let's get to it. Evidence, okay? So going forward, first thing I want to say is that any body that I mentioned in this video, or anyone who has knowledge about anyone that is included in the story that I might not actually mention, I do not want you to go after this person or these people. I do not want you to harass them, go after them, dox them. That's not what I want. Unlike some people, that's not what I promote. That's not what I encourage nor condone. With that said, let's get to it, okay? There's been a lot of drama going on social media with me, primarily on TikTok, and there's been a lot of allegations against me, and people have been coming after me with like lawsuits, for instance. I just want to clear the air, give my side of the story, one that can be watched by anyone on any social media platform. Down the road, if they decide to clip it or share it, I don't care. And this can also, if they actually want to come after me with lawsuits, this will, of course, be entered into evidence. Okay. Have some lives. Apparently, they're very controversial through the trans community because I allow free discussion. The reason I allow free discussion is because so many times I go into spaces and language is shut down. People are silenced, they're bullied, they're yelled at, they called all these isms like you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're racist, and stuff like this all the time. It just goes on and on and on. Like you're a bigot. It just never ends, okay? And it gets in the way of having an open discussion. And one thing I've actually noticed is that there are some people, and a majority of people, I shouldn't say a majority, there's a mass quantity of people who are in the middle, or people who are entering and they don't really know much about trans things, and they're trying to feel the waters or understand, or get like knowledge, for instance, and they go in these spaces and all they do is get yelled at and belittled because they use the wrong language. And one thing that's for certain is that if you're not familiar with a certain community or group or demographic of people, you're not going to know their language. So you're going to say the wrong things. You got to be patient with these people. Okay? Let them make mistakes and do it politely. And don't necessarily cut them off or end their sentence, because sometimes when you cut them off, you lose context of what they meant and the intent of what they meant. Moving forward from this, okay, I have these lives, like I said, and I set rules. I have rules that I set. I have boundaries, and I stick to them, and I'm firm in them.
And if you have a problem with Cassie Speaks Up, or you want to speak on this, come on up, because Cassie Speaks Up is dangerous and detrimental to the trans and non-binary community and the whole LGBTQ community as a whole.
I've had people come after me. I've had people threaten me. I've had people try to dox me. Physical threats of violence have been issued towards me. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. There was a falling out. I met someone that same day. There was a falling out that same day. Apparently, I really pissed someone off. And they decided to go and start spreading some lies about me. And they got other people that had some stories or didn't like me involved as well from other places. And they held a call-out live about me. And before this call out live, I had actually gone to this person and tried to resolve this in private before it went public.
They were misgendering me.
What pronouns do you go by?
I go by they, them. They were calling me he. They were calling me a child.
I love non-binary people.
I know,
Yeah,
and you know, and you know what she said? He said if they can't use your pronouns or anybody's pronouns, to call them like gender like neutral, or I forget what term she used, and she said or to use your name. The fuck? So you're telling me?
but they did call out live anyway. And during this call out live, they wanted me to actually come and defend my name, to essentially go into the lion's den and be at their mercy, where they have all the control. And I don't know about y'all, where y'all are from, what country y'all are from, who are watching. But where I'm from and the way that I'm raised and everyone that I've ever met in my life, if you have a problem with someone, you're supposed to go to them. Like, why would they have to come to you? That doesn't make any sense. So they did call out live on me, and I didn't come, obviously. I got to watch it. But then later on, they did another one.
And Mar just told me she's actually doing a call out live on herself. Like she's using the prompt I use that Canarella gave me on her live right now. And I just find that diabolical that you couldn't come to my live yesterday to do the call out live, but you could do it on your own live. Like how big of a coward are you?
That's
like
they called me a coward because I had a call out live where I called out myself and I had people come in. It was my way of being able to tell my side of the story of what's going on. Without being silenced, without having people mute me or whatever, so I could give my side of the story unhindered. But the way that I did this was by actually showing clips and evidence and explaining my side of the story. They found out about it and they called me a coward for it. Moving on, later in the evening, I had another call out live for myself, and at the same time, this person named Wes was also having a live.
So I'm actually pretty shocked.
So Annie,
you
said you had tea in the comments. What's the tea?
So, well, let me start with Cassie first.
It was quite a heinous live as well. And also during that evening, I also had a Q&A for trans and detrans thing as well. And I actually had Nisa Powers up on my panel because we were going to do an interview. I don't know if we're still going to do it. I'd love to do an interview with Nisa Powers still. But they held a call out live. And during this call out live, they started gossiping. They started lying about a lot of different things. And I want to set the record straight. Essentially in the beginning, they bring up my friend Danielle, who I like to call my sis, or my sister. We're not actually sisters in real life, but we're tight.
I had the conversation with Alex.
Let Molly go. You talk.
I had the conversation with Alex about how trashy she was, and Alex agreed with me. So I'm shocked that they are mutuals.
Yeah, it's
because we talked. We had after she was on the panel and lied about being trans and all kinds of stuff and I mentioned that she was in another live and that she was live hopping with this girl Danielle. And the fact that they are mutuals.
And the way we became friends was at first we met in another live, okay? And she was actually like my nemesis. I hated her guts and she hated my guts because she came at me at like 110% because she was trying to protect someone who she didn't know I was friends with in real life. It's a funny story how many misunderstandings can happen. But time goes by, and I've had the opportunity to watch her in a lot of different lives, trans spaces and non-trans spaces. And I noticed that she was always misunderstood. And I understood what she was saying and understood the possibilities of what she meant. And so then I asked her, like, hey, what's your intention? And I was like, oh, okay. So I talked to her. We became friends. And I said, hey, I will go around to these lives with you and be like essentially like your emotional support human. Essentially what I told her was, hey, I will sit up on these panels and like trans spaces or GC spaces, gender critical spaces, and just listen to what they are saying, listen to what you are saying. And if I think that you're not understanding what their question is, I will reword it in a way that I know that you will understand. And if they are not understanding your question or the language that you are using, I will give them your answer. And sometimes I'll be up on that panel, and because I'm asking something from a perspective of someone who doesn't know things about the trans community, I might come off as harmful, coming from a trans person. That also doesn't help with the fact that I have a lot of controversial views that are in contention with the trans community, but that's another story. So, and after these lives, I would have calls or chats, private messages with Danielle, and I explained to her exactly what was going on, explained the things in detail, asked her if she had any questions. And the effect that this had is that I noticed that Danielle went for someone who was very, very, very judgmental, in my opinion, about trans people, and has actually pulled her somewhat away from being so extreme, and actually more in the moderate and more accepting of trans people. However, in this live, they are saying that Danielle and I are going into other lives, trans spaces, and wrecking havoc.
Everybody go on mute. Annie, let's finish.
Can I just say one thing? I'm going to go in my block list later, and I will also send you a screenshot of Danielle. Danielle is her little friend her little cis friend that she takes into lives with her, and they cause wreak havoc. And
Okay,
so
just
you
one
just
second.
so you know who they are.
Okay, go.
And Danielle, if you're watching this, I don't care how they treat you. Okay, I'm gonna stand up for you, and I love you dearly. Okay. Another thing, someone by the name of Annie Pie sent me a long message days later after all of this happened that didn't sum up everything, and essentially said that they're going to protect the main person that started this drama against me, no matter what, and some like innuendo threats of lawsuits from her and stuff like that, and trying to like scare me with some name and whatever. Whatever. But the issue I have with Annie Pie and is she claimed that I was talking to her on Snapchat and saying that the unalivement of her brother due to bullying was her fault.
So, well, let me start with Cassie first. So Cassie messaged me the other day. I told Alex something personal about my 2 younger brothers who passed away like a few months ago. Thank you. And he went off, told Cassie, and Cassie messaged me and was talking really nasty stuff. It was on Snapchat. She blocked me.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, she was like saying it's my fault. So the 8-year-old, I'm not going to go into detail.
I'm sorry, Annie. I'm going to interject just a second. If I ever see this bitch in public, yeah, she's not going to last very long in front of me.
Yep.
Okay, continue.
Everybody go on mute. I'll go on mute too. Annie, finish.
Thank you. So my younger brother, he's a trans. He's 8, and he isn't here anymore because people kept talking about him wearing girl dresses. And I told Alex this, and he went off, told Cassie about all of it because I was taking Wes's side, and I always will. And Cassie messaged me on Snapchat, which I never had her on Snapchat, and she was like saying it's my fault that he's gone, which I mean, whatever.
Which is not true, because before I watched this live, I had no idea what the hell that story was about, and I still don't really know all the details to that story. I just know that I don't use Snapchat very often, and for TikTok during that time, the only person I had actually used Snapchat for was actually for someone named Damore. And I will think about putting my Snapchat up on the screen. So, and everyone else in my Snapchat list was either family or old coworkers of mine, and a lot of those Snapchat conversations are like 200 some weeks old. Annie Pie, okay. I hope in the future that you actually confirm that you have the right Cassie and that you have the right username for that person, and you confirm it before you give out such a heinous allegation, especially in the middle of a call-out live that is hating on someone. Accountability does matter, and making sure that you have the evidence and make sure that evidence is actually accurate is insanely fundamental. I hope you do better on that in the future. Okay. Another thing with Joshua Dean. Joshua Dean would pop into my live, pop out, and stuff like that. I had a live, like I said, about trans and detrans. And I had mentioned that I had transitioned and then detransitioned because I had something going on that was unrelated to being trans that forced me to detransition once upon a time. And then I stated that when I got my head screwed back on, that I had retransitioned. as many people who detransition do. Joshua decides to go into Wes's life, and in the middle of this little hate fest against me, is call it live, as you will, decides to go up on the panel and says,
Hold on. I jumped in to watch one of her lives today, and it was about transitioning and detransitioning, and she was telling people she had detransitioned today.
No, that no matter if you detrans or not, you're not trans. You're not trans.
Yeah.
And she told multiple people, Joshua, that she's not trans. Before
I
that
know
live.
she's not, but that's what she's now telling people, and I couldn't get it copied because I had just got there and it came out.
Hold on, Joshua's going.
When I saw the live on her today, she was in the same screenshot you have here, but there was an identical screenshot with her, and only thing different was she had stubble on that screenshot. And she was talking to people. The whole thing was people interviewing people who had detransitioned. And I had company come over. They were here. I couldn't get it screenshotted. But she was specifically stating that she had detransitioned and now was doing interviews with people who were detransitioning.
Yeah, apparently, according to Joshua, she's live right now using the exact same picture that you are, Wes.
They're having some.
She's disgusting.
My head hurts.
But Annie, you said you had more tea?
She literally has her own YouTube channel about this stuff, by the way.
so later, when it comes to Joshua's story, I went into a mutual friends live that I am actually a moderator for, and confronted Joshua, and because I honestly believe that there was miscommunication, and I wanted to clear up the story. This was several days after, and I explained everything, and I even explained in great detail exactly like why I detransitioned and how it had to do with stuff that happened to me in early childhood, and how an individual from said childhood just randomly showed up in my life, and it caused me great mental distress. And I detransitioned for it because I had lost my mind. I'm not going to go into that full story here, but it was very emotional. And essentially, this person used it against me to belittle me, and essentially didn't care. This whole live addressing Joshua that I had, essentially, they were telling me that I'm just causing drama, that I just need to get over it, acting like a child, a whole bunch of other things, essentially deflecting. And I went there literally just to ask him, like, hey, like, was this a miscommunication? Like, because I honestly believe it was. And they didn't want to hear me out whatsoever. They didn't want to take any accountability. And if they would have just said sorry, like I misunderstood, I would have been completely okay with that. But they belittled me left and right, fought me on it, everything like that. Anything that I said, even when it came to my hearing, they challenged me on that as well. And on top of it, Joshua challenged my military service. And I've been very honest that I don't claim vet status. However, I did go in the military briefly. I went through MEPS, had a nightmare going through MEPS, ended up going to Walter Reed Medical Hospital, got through Walter Reed Medical Hospital because of my hearing somehow. I don't know. I got all the way to Fort Benning, Georgia in October 2008, and they redid the medical stuff again, and I failed hearing. So then I fought for 2 months to stay in, and eventually I was told that I was not be able to stay in, so I never completed basic. And they kicked me out in December of 2008. This person's claiming that I said I was in the Navy. I never was. Never said that. I was briefly, very briefly, in the army, and once again, I am not a veteran. But moving on from Joshua. Actually, no, there's more. Joshua proceeded to threaten me with lawsuits, claiming that I am harassing them, bullying them, and stuff like that. I don't know what for. They even decided to go off of TikTok um, and find my email account for my YouTube channel, which is available for everyone. It's not an issue. And essentially harass me and bully me in my email and send me threats and try to intimidate me to keep me from posting this video. But it seems, I don't know, it seems the more that I speak up and stand my ground, the more that they want to silence me. So I'm still here. I'm still going to talk. And I'm sorry. Deal with it.
It's my work. Clock out slip.
One thing I find really interesting is that during all of this, not a single person actually said, like, that was on the panel. I mean, I saw some people in the comments going, "Hey, like, where's the actual proof of like some things?" But no one on the panel actually said, "Hey, where's the actual proof of this?" Not a single person. And I hope that people can learn from this, that it is very important that you have proof, okay? The next person I want to go into is Tiki Star. And Tiki Star posted on their page that they were going to also sue me with a lawsuit.
Thank you very, very much.
Backstabbing this bitch is. If I ever meet her in public, I will fight her. And she can quote me on that.
And I find that very funny because you can't go online in a public forum, for instance, like a live on TikTok, and say some heinous things, and when someone else records it and takes issue to a threat against them, claim that they're going to now sue someone because they saw it. Like, and first off, I didn't actually record this live. I found it. Someone reached out to me. So good luck trying to sue me for it, because I didn't actually record you here. But those threats are definitely something that would hold up in court. But I'm not going to take you to court for it. I got better things to do. So, yeah. So, apparently I'm going to possibly get a lawsuit through, like, the Human Rights Campaign.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Filing a list to get a defamation lawsuit and everything against her.
You can also sue for libel as well.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
So, good luck. I do have to say that at first I was very surprised by how many people were just like willing to like accept or believe something so blindly what people are saying. I understand, and what I want people to take from this, okay, is one, accountability matters. Two, making sure that everything that people say is actually true. Three, don't blindly believe people, even if they are your friends. It's one thing to trust someone on something than it is to trust them in a sense of something of an allegation, especially when it's in a whole group of people that are hating on an individual. Make sure you get the other side of the story, because sometimes people in your group, in your social circle, your peers are do things that are wrong, whether that is because they have deceived you about who they are, or that just because they are human and they made a mistake on something. It's very important. There are people who actually, like the stuff that happened in this live, if this rumors and the lies is spread and enough, and they weren't, and these things were not squashed, and then people kept going after an individual. I would never do this, but it actually has caused people to unalive through this harassment and bullying before, especially when you start challenging them. It's very important to make sure that you get all this information correct, and that whenever you go into a space like this in the future, you ask questions, ask for proof, and go like, hey, like, is this really healthy? Is this really productive? Okay, and it wasn't. So, if y'all still want to do, send me some lawsuits, some hate messages, go right ahead. I will enjoy reading them, and I could possibly get enough of them to inspire me to make a video about it. Who knows? So, I don't know if there's any closing thoughts, but I'll watch some more clips, and maybe I'll make a part 2 before I release this. So.
Not to mention, I've had 10 different people come in here and tell me that they've heard her admit to the fact that she's not trans. And she thinks it's funny that she has all these trans people thinking that she's trans. So
also, I have to address the whole thing about me saying that I am a cis woman, which is absolutely a lie. I don't even know how exactly that they got this idea that I'm a cis woman. However, I do have to say that sometimes people might say that I'm not trans, or I might have someone that I'm with that will say that, hey, that I'm not trans and that I'm a cis woman. But the trans community literally has lives and advocates for the fact that trans people do not owe other people disclosure, except in some very rare circumstances. And so it's not my job, my responsibility to correct someone for saying that I am a cis woman or that I'm not trans. It's not my responsibility to tell them, hey, I'm a trans woman, okay? That essentially just goes out and outs myself. But I know now that people are going to know everything's out of the bag. It is what it is. But someone else saying that I'm a cis woman or someone else saying that I'm not trans are two separate things than me saying that I am not trans. So please get your story straight, okay? Understand the difference before you start spreading all these lies and these rumors, okay? And also, sometimes you need to understand some context, okay? Sometimes I might say something, or someone might say something like, hey, I'm not trans, as a joke. But when you look at it for the context and the intent, it's not actually that person saying that they are not trans. It's a joke. It's sarcasm, okay? And it's just how language works.